Hey everyone, Erin here, your hostess with the mostest and a list. Um, and welcome back to Becoming Me. Well, it's already been a month and it really doesn't feel like it. Time is just going by. Oh, by the way, I have to apologize for my voice. Might sound a little different right now. And I know I do that a lot, but it feels especially weak lately. And I swear to God, if this is like one of those times where you're trying to lose weight and all the weight you lose is from your boobs, like, because while on HRT, my muscles go through atrophy, and I'm using my muscles in my neck quite a bit. So if they're weaker and I can't do this as well, like, that's a problem. But anyway, I have a couple notes. They're not the greatest, and I keep thinking about all the things that I want to talk about, and these really don't cover it. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It's just gonna happen how it does. So be prepared for that. And it's since it's a month, I guess I'll probably go ahead and like put a picture of myself here from a month ago. Yeah, I'm really bad and lazy with the whole selfies thing. And I'm just really not very good at them. So I haven't been taking them. I'm sorry. But there also hasn't really been a whole lot of changes. I did measure myself and it pretty much was the same. 37 around the waist, not the waist, sorry, around the hips, 29 and a half or so around the waist, and then like 34 around bust. It did maybe go up like 2 centimeters, but nothing really great. Now, the more shocking thing is actually I've lost weight. And after talking to my girlfriend about this, they said that you actually gain weight more while on HRT, because I guess it's easier to gain weight while you have more estrogen in your system. And S's are gonna be the bane of my existence right now. But yeah, so at the end of November or so, I weighed myself and I was 154. And I weighed myself just 10 minutes ago and I was 148. And I don't know how this is happening, because I'm afraid of not like having enough like fat distribution in the right places to feel feminine enough. And so my wife has kind of been helping me with that, and we've been trying to sort of fatten me up, I guess. Maybe people don't like that, but and it's weird for me too, because like one of the only things I ever really liked about my body before I started transitioning was that I was kind of skinny. So this is kind of weird territory. But like one night I ate 10 oatmeal cream pies in a row. And then like today I had, let's see, and 2 breakfast burritos, and then I had 3 spicy chicken go wraps and like a Frosty. Then I had a whole freaking burrito from Chipotle, and then I had a steak with mashed potatoes, and like lost 6 pounds. Yay! I don't know what's gonna happen. So hopefully that kind of starts to turn around. But what I imagine is that like when my hormones start to balance out in the right direction, then I won't really need to fatten myself up. It's gonna just kind of happen on its own. because I don't really like work out intensively or do anything like that, or eat super duper healthy. Not really. But one of my worries that I was gonna say last week and I decided not to, but it keeps coming up over and over again, and it kind of goes into like what I did this week. Well, the major thing I did this week. And that has to do with my age. And sometimes, like when I'm talking to people on Twitter or this or that, and I try to like say, no, like they're, reciprocating, they're having a good time. It doesn't really matter. But a lot of my friends are, like, I would say most of them are early 20s or just in their 20s. Some might be younger than that, like more like teenagers. And it's actually pretty common, and I think I covered this before, but if I didn't, trans women and men kind of will have like a Peter Pan complex a little bit, where they act and feel younger than they actually are, or they try to. And a lot of it has to do with like those missed years of, being the gender that they are. So it makes sense. And I think that I certainly act a little younger than I actually am. But I also worry that like my friends, and especially like my love interests, the age difference between them is like too much. Like, I don't know. It's bad. And before like I got involved with like this younger kind of community, I was on Susan's, and they had all types of people and all age groups, but a lot of more older people. And where I'm at, I know there's a lot of people that are transitioning at this age, but it also kind of feels like an in-between place that no one really wants to be. I'm not like old enough to be kind of experienced and have like the same sort of feelings about everything as like some of the older girls. And I'm not young enough to really kind of be out there and super outgoing and just whatever young people do, I guess. I don't think that was a very good description. I definitely love a lot of my younger friends. They're really cool. But it is something that was worrying me. And going from that into what I did majorly this week was I went and got my private cosmetic lesson. And I went in, I was trying to be like all prepared. I made sure to record things and in part, so it's good. But like I was starting to pull out my makeup and ask like what was wrong with what I was using, and then they started like going off on like their specific techniques, and like everyone has their own techniques, so you kind of really have to find out what works for you. And it was something that we were talking about a lot, and I have already spoken about, because I know my friend Maujid commented about it, and that's just like trying to overwhelm yourself with makeup at once and then trying to do it again and not really learning anything, or also thinking that what you need is like all of this stuff, like everything on your face. And since ultimately my goal, because oh wow, I'm gonna get into that too, hopefully this doesn't get too long. I have a couple long topics, but I wasn't going to talk about any of them here, so. Alright, well then, just before I get into that, I'm going to go ahead and say this, because I was talking to, I think, Eric President about it, and other people too. But, like, it's a reoccurring thing for me, and I don't really know how to sort of correct it or fight against it. But I imagine there's like a certain technique because it seems really common, but I don't think I know the right terminology because I'm not saying the right thing. But it's like I try to draw. I'm not really very good at art yet, and I'm not really applying myself as much as I should. So it's natural that I'm not very good. So when people see my stuff and they're like, well, that's not very good, I can be like, well, I'm not an artist. I'm just trying to get better. And you can replace artist with like designer, being a woman, being loved, that sort of thing. And that's kind of where I'm coming from again, and it kind of goes into passing a little bit, but it's more so like myself holding me back. Because with makeup, I'm not really applying myself as much as I should be. I'm not actually wearing any right now, even though I said I was going to start wearing it every day. And, you know, part of that's excuses of like, oh, I don't have the time, I'm working all the time, I'm exhausted all the time. Well, that's a problem. Like, sorry, I need a drink. Alright, so that's a problem. Like, if I'm always working and I'm always tired, I'm never gonna be able to do the things that I want to do. And this past week has especially shown me that because I haven't recorded any more Undertale and I haven't worked on any of my thumbnails. And also because like my voice has been weak, I didn't do the talk that I wanted to do either. And it's like this idea of not wanting to do something until you're prepared or you're ready for it. And if you internalize that and you're always just waiting for things to be perfect to do it, like perfect conditions or whatever, then it's just never gonna happen. So you have to be okay with things not being perfect. And as a former perfectionist, that's really, really tough for me. But I have to be okay. Anyway, sorry, I'm really starting to get super sidetracked. Going back into the makeup, that was a really lovely experience. They were a very nice person. And they talked a lot about all these different things, about they're great about my face. And it was very weird because I was like just not liking anything. And now I realize that I actually am blessed with a lot of different features. Like my lips aren't really like puffy or anything, but they're not puffy, you know, and people kind of see, I guess, a more feminine lips as being bigger, and I don't really have to do a whole lot in there. And my nose is already pretty narrow, so I don't have to do any like special makeup tricks to try and like make it appear to be more narrow. And since I was assigned male at birth, like I already have kind of more prominent jawline or like cheekbones. So I don't have to do like any kind of contouring to really accentuate that. Because if I do, then I kind of just look more like a skeleton, and you better not turn off on me. Jeez. Sorry, that was like a program. I just have to move the mouse periodically, I guess, or I'm worried I'm gonna lose my footage. But not only that, like my eyebrows apparently already have like a good arch to them. That they don't really need too much stuff to be done. Like not unless I want to do like a pencil thin drawn in thing, which I don't. So I don't have to worry about that. And I apparently have really nice long eyelashes that once I really can get down applying mascara, they'll like really pop and that will like come out a lot more. And there's just lots of little like cosmetic things I learned that I didn't think about before, like not trying to make everything the star on your face because then it's just too much and it just looks like a mess. So if you have like really nice lips, you know, get some lipstick that pops and make it, you know, everything else kind of blend into that. And you know, same thing with eyes. Like if you're having like more prominent or darker or like more poppy, I guess, colors around the eyes, then have like a more muted thing around the lips. Or muted somewhere else, just so that it's not loud everywhere on your face. Ugh. Whew. Okay. But I really enjoyed that. And oh, another thing I learned about it, which I was doing wrong, is my hair. So like my hair was really thinning and I had actually already bought a wig and was trying to like wear it. I'm not very good at it, like can't seem to get it. But I was just really self-conscious about how much it's thinning up here and like receding and everything. And they were telling me how like my hair is really nice and it's a gift. And the only like issue that I've been doing to myself is how they say to not wash like every night because it removes the natural oils and you know all that. And so like I actually do rinse my hair every single night, but I just don't use shampoo like every night. And they explained that I have really, really super oily hair. So I actually should be shampooing every single night. At least until like I start to notice it, you know, drying out or something. Because that's actually what's causing the acne around my face and also on the back of my neck, which I've always had. And it makes so much sense. Like, the oils for my hair is getting on my face and it's making me break out. So once that gets under control, like it'll look a lot better. And I got some more volumizing, like shampoo and conditioner, which I hope is kind of helping. But I haven't used it really long, like very long yet, so. But then after that, I kind of had like a little small victory for myself where I went through a drive-through. I think it was a McDonald's? No, I don't remember what it was. Oh, I think it was a Taco Bell. Anyway, but my voice really feels weak constantly. It's really bad. I hate it right now. Maybe that's why I don't want to record. Alright. Anyway, so yeah, I went through the drive-thru without my mask, using my voice to sort of like overcome the last time that I went through a drive-through with makeup on, which I may have not actually expressed this story on this vlog yet, but I know I've told a lot of people, so it's hard to keep track of like where I've said this or whatever. But it was after I got my first exam with the ENT, ear, nose, throat doctor, because I had pushed myself so far with my voice that it was painful, and I was worried that I had lost it for good. And I basically had to be really careful and not use it for like a couple weeks, which was very hard for me. And I put makeup on for that visit. So then I went to work afterwards, and I went through the drive-thru of a Burger King. And I used my voice, and that was fine. But then when I got up to the window, I handed the person my card. I saw their nails, and I was like, oh wow, they're so pretty. I want to compliment them. And then they looked at my card, and they looked at me, and they were smiling. And I thought they liked my card, because a lot of people do. It's, no, I'm not going to show it. It has numbers. What am I doing? Oh, goodness. Anyway. Alright, it's a Finding Nemo card. But, then after she was looking at it, like, she disappeared. And then I saw, like, another person just, like, rush into view and look at me and then start laughing. And then they ran away. And then another person that was different from the first two ran up and, like, did the same thing. And then she came back finally and, like, purposely put my order weirdly in, like, 3 different bags. And then I was handed my stuff back from each of them. And, then, after that, then she finally handed back my card. And she said something like, I don't know if she said, like, here's your card back, or have a nice day, or what. But she was like, here's your card back, sir, I mean, ma'am. And it was very obvious that she was, like, really not accidentally tripping up. But the whole thing was kind of like they were just laughing at me. And I felt really vulnerable, and not only that, but like my voice was bad. Probably not as bad as it is right now, so that's a good thing. I have more confidence now, I guess. Even though I shouldn't, because Jesus Christ. Anyway. But yeah, so at this Taco Bell, I had my makeup, I was using my voice, which is apparently going out right now. And then it was fine. It wasn't the greatest. They didn't really look at me or comment on me. I wasn't gendered either way. But baby steps. Alright. I have a couple interviews coming up, and also my good friend Ashley over at Cavitude Gaming. You should check out their channel. I'm watching Life is Strange, and it's really cool. I like how they kind of like, sort of emulate the characters a bit and like their life experiences. But they're a really cool person, and you should definitely check them out. They have a lot of content. Like, you won't be bored. There's so much there. But yeah, I keep like not doing things properly. I mean, eventually I'll have like a process and I'll follow it and it'll be good. But also, I'm wearing a shirt It's another one of the shirts from my friend Eerie Emilie, and I'll put a link to her t-shirts down below as well. And this time I'll actually put a picture, like, so you can see the shirt better in the editing, whereas I said I was going to do that last time and I forgot. I'm just so exhausted all the time. It's bad. Hopefully it kind of bounces back soon. But aside from that, there's also one last thing I want to talk about before I kind of sign out from this blog entry. And I wanted to try and like find different quotes from other like Twitter accounts and things that I found like really interesting or provocative. And honestly, every single day I see ones like this, but this was the only one I actually bothered to write down first. So this comes to us from Ash K. Skeet, and they said, always the turf in goal on this topic. They don't want people to learn that trans people exist until they're 30, and the trans kids have repressed themselves so much that they're either dead or traumatized. And maybe they put dead inside and I just forgot to type it out. I don't know. But for those of you that don't know, TERF is a acronym for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. And it's, or Transgender Exclusionary Radical Feminist. And it's not a slur, it's the term that they brought up themselves. But it's such a negative, like, thing to be, especially as a feminist, that it's pretty toxic and treated kind of like, at least to them, as a slur. But, like, whatever. Anyway, so, yeah, I didn't realize until I was 30, and, you know, maybe I would have realized a lot sooner. But that is what they're saying. Like, I've even had discussions with other people. They're like, whoa, you shouldn't do hormone blockers and things like that before going through actual puberty because, you know, what if you'll ruin your body? Well, the thing is that puberty is what ruins the body. And when people are able to love themselves and accept their bodies and not hate themselves and what they are when they're younger, they'll have a much, like, happier, more productive, just better life. And, like, that's what everyone should be able to have. So, yeah, like, it's kind of a method of erasure of transgender people, because it's like, you've already spent almost half your life as this other thing, and it's going to be so hard, painful, and just, like, rough in so many ways to try and, like, get that back and change your life, that a lot of people that I'm sure would have been trans might not even see it as, like, a good thing or worth it to really do. And it definitely is worth it, but I know that I can also fall into that, like, problem, because I know when I started, I made my ultimatum my voice, because I knew, and I probably say this all the time, but I knew that I could maybe learn how to do makeup, and I could, like, wear a bra and wear dresses and things like that. and I could present as best I can as a woman, but once I open my mouth, if it isn't like feminine at all, then like it feels not genuine to me. But I don't feel that way about anyone else. Like, so many people can express themselves in all their different genders in so many different ways. And for a lot of people, it's different things that really makes them feel like gender affirming in different things. I am not going to be angry or like look down on my friends if they aren't trying to like do a super high-pitched or feminine voice or whatever. Like, if that's what they want, then I would encourage them and try to like help them with that. But if they're fine, but if they're fine with how their voice like sounds, there's no reason to like put them down for not having it. Also, I'm really out of breath. One more real quick thing, because the other person that commented on one of my videos mentioned it. The trans med people. Like, the people out there that like, you're not trans unless you get bottom surgery. You're not trans unless you do this. You're not trans unless you do that. Well, a lot of people are really uncomfortable doing this or that, or they don't have the ability to do this or that, or they don't feel that that's necessary to be this or that. And gender, I feel, is as much about like how everyone else treats you as it is how you express yourself personally. So you don't need to conform to anyone else's like expectations of gender. And I know that sounds hypocritical coming from me, but let's just say being more expressive, being more lively, like these are all the things that I've wanted for so long. And you know, liking cute things, wearing cute things, trying to be cute myself, that kind of stuff. Anyway, yeah, I keep making these so long. I really hope that my voice kind of recovers, because right now it's not doing so good. Alright. Anyway, that's my vlog first month. Oh, so stupid. Alright, one more thing. These first couple months are not really gonna be all that exciting. Everywhere, like, I'm doing more research again, and I'm looking, and it really kind of seems like things don't really start to get interesting until like month 3. So stay tuned for that, and that'll be more interesting to watch than this stuff. And I kind of take it like a seed in the ground. When you plant it, you don't really see anything sprouting so much at the top right away. But underneath, there's all these roots, and it's growing like outward and pulling from it, like all the nutrients and stuff. And that's what I think happens like with HRT. And maybe also it's because like I still have like my T is like was here. If this is showing up at the camera, my E was here, and now maybe they're like here, and then once they're here and E starts to overtake, that's when the physical changes really start to happen. But internally, there's been a lot of like extra work that's been going through. Alright, now this is the end. Actually. Okay, and if you stay till the end, you're a real sweetheart. So take care, everybody.